What up, Raffalitos? Welcome back to my channel. This is Heroes Highway. We're looking south towards the bridge entrance and Eccles interchange and that roundabout. But I'm coming from that direction and I'm heading north to Georgetown. I thought I'd give you an idea of what's happening here. This is new development along Heroes Highway. So while since I've actually covered the new things that are happening along Heroes Highway, I've actually called this area Warehouse Central because, contrary to what a lot of us thought was going to happen, this area has turned out to be a warehouse central. In other words, the government has allowed all these warehouses to be built in this area, and now it seems more of them are going up as they clear this land. This is on the east side of the highway. They're clearing the land, putting in piles of sand, building up foundation for what I believe is more warehouses. The most recent warehouse to be built is this one at the corner, the junction of Heroes Highway and the road to MacDoom. And that one was completed recently, as in within the last 6 months. And this is the shopping complex, the Houston complex. Turned out to be a disappointment as far as I'm concerned. I thought it would have been an outlet mall, you know, like the one at Tanger's Outlet Mall in New York and South Carolina and Florida. This turns out to be just a set of local merchants with very tiny shops. Now on this side, in the distance, that seems like fuel containers. Maybe they're going to store fuel here. All right, that looks like somebody's building fuel storage. And in the foreground, right in front of us here, you can see shipping containers. They're getting ready to build something, which I can only assume is another warehouse. Now in the distance, those buildings, that one is the Ministry of Housing, and the one in the rear, that one is the Guyana Water Authority Inc. These used to be sheriff buildings. They started out being Sheriff Hospital and Sheriff Mall, but somehow Sheriff convinced the government to take over the half-constructed building and turn it into an office for the Ministry of Housing. We're going to talk about that in the future. This is a new warehouse, like I said, built in the last 6 months, so completed within the last 3 months or so. In fact, I don't even know if it's completed, but they were working on the tarmac on the parking lot around the building last time I was there, about a month ago. This one, we've actually seen this one constructed from start to finish. Came out here one, I think, Sunday morning and found them pouring concrete on the shoulder of the road, covering the drain to connect this building. And on Monday morning, Ministry of Public Works instructed them to tear up that concrete parapet and to restore the shoulder of the road. So a lot of lawlessness going on. But now this warehouse seems to be completed. Well, it's close to being completed. I don't think it's finished. You can see from the front of it, it's not completed. This one, this warehouse, I actually saw that one built from start to finish. Huge warehouse. Don't know who owns it. But there was a time, if you go back in the archives of new developments on Heroes Highway, you will see a time when the land was being cleared. They covered it with sand, white sand, and then for about 6 months to a year, nothing was done. And then they built the warehouse. So this is Warehouse Central as we enter Houston. All right, we're leaving Houston. This one is the Blue Water Warehouse. Blue Water Warehouse. It's another Blue Water is another contractor for the oil and gas industry. So a lot of these warehouses that are being constructed in this neighborhood are actually subcontractors for the oil and gas industry. The main contractors, what are referred to as tier one contractors, like Halliburton, Schlumberger, are located at the Demerara River. Right? Remember, Gafour's had an outlet at the Demerara River. Gafour complex was demolished and replaced with Schlumberger. And near to the ice house along Water Street, there are now a whole lot of oil and gas companies, notably Halliburton is located over there. I mentioned Halliburton because Dick Cheney, who was the vice president of the United States with George W. Bush, was once the CEO of Halliburton, oil and gas uh, industry supplier, among other things, subcontractor for defense, the military and defense industry, and so on. They're operating now on Water Street at the river. And so they are the tier one contractors for ExxonMobil. But the tier two, tier three contractors that supply things like pipes and fittings and so on, they're located here. Now this one says YIDA Trading. Right, so I'm assuming that this is a Chinese company. YIDA Mechanical Mining Projects, it says. This is what their poster is saying, mechanical and mining products. So this warehouse seems to be being geared towards the mining industry. They have on display their mining equipment.